Member for Cowichan Valley.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. And I wanted to start by acknowledging and appreciating government for making this time available for these questions. The questions from the official opposition members have been, for me, very valuable, very informative, and I very much appreciate the responses that we are getting from government on these questions that are coming to us from our citizens and our constituents. I want to start with hand washing. We've heard the message very loudly, very clearly, that the most important thing we can do in this health crisis is to wash our hands regularly. I am worried, and in a call with the service providers in the Cowichan Valley who are supporting homeless people, access to hand washing for people who are homeless is limited, to say the least. And so my questions for you, Honourable Speaker, is perhaps to the Health Minister or Public Safety Minister, what can be done to support increased access to hand washing or sanitizing stations for British Columbians who currently do not have a home? And would it be possible to set up multiple hand washing stations or outdoor hand sanitizing dispensers?
Minister of Health.
Thank you to the member for Cowichan for her question. I think this is a challenging time for everyone, and I think we've given to the province and the media more than 30 to 40 briefings over the last month, and at every one of those briefings we cite the importance of hand washing, which is still, other than, if I may repeat it again, staying home if you're sick, and some of these challenges are equally challenging for people who are homeless in terms of their ability to do that, are the central messages that have been here from the beginning. Wash your hands, stay home if you're sick. Wash your hands, stay home if you're sick. It's challenging for everyone. And obviously the additional risks to people who are homeless who may not have access, don't have access, is an important one. On Saturday, there was an update from my colleagues, the Minister of Social Development, the Minister of Housing, that was an update on the work to support vulnerable British Columbians. They included new isolation protocols for vulnerable people, sites available for social isolation in so far 16 communities, new centralized procurement for cleaning supplies and personal protective equipment for housing and shelter providers to protect residents and staff. Hand washing is and will continue to be a significant challenge. In Vancouver, for example, 11 new hand washing stations were set up last Tuesday throughout the downtown east side to help protect people in that community. Outreach workers across BC are also working to share information and resources with those that they serve. We are passing out new materials with information on hand washing for people experiencing homelessness, including how to set up a makeshift hand washing station. For those in shelters, BC Housing is sharing new hand washing protocols with providers, including hand washing when guests arrive, before they leave, and before and after eating. The province is also supporting enhanced daily cleaning at a number of SROs and shelters. This is only a start. The funding that was announced today by the Premier and the Minister of Finance will continue to support these kind of critical needs in the communities. And our Vulnerable Population Working Group is working urgently with communities to identify those needs. Just want to say this in conclusion. We know that vulnerable people are more vulnerable from COVID-19. We've seen this in long-term care, and we know its significance. We've seen it in our own province, and we've seen it elsewhere in the world. We've seen it for seniors. We've seen it for people who deal with chronic diseases. We've seen it for people who don't have homes and are homeless and need our supports. These are central areas of the government's response, and they have to be central areas to ensure that the people who are most vulnerable to getting the most sick receive the most effort that we can give to support them. In this area, as in others, specific actions are being taken that I know will be supported by the honourable members and members of the House.